Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the mathematical approach to life. Now, bear with me. I know a lot of you may have lost interest in math way early on in grade school, but it'll actually help put a lot of things into perspective for us, and it'll help us approach our life a lot differently. So I want to start off with talking about how do we view our day? Do we view it as 24 hours? Do we view it as however as many as like 84,000 seconds? Is that how we view our day? Not necessarily. We view our day as in terms of what we have to do, in terms of work, our commute, errands, and whatever else. That's how we view our day. So there's a lot of wiggle room in terms of how we structure it. It's not airtight. We're not as effective as we can during our day, not only in terms of taking advantage of it, but in terms of managing our time wisely. So that's a huge thing to pay attention to, because the older you get, the faster time is going to go by. And the real kicker is you're not even going to be enjoying it. Because I remember back in the day when I was younger, time would fly by only when I was having fun, be it playing video games, hanging out with friends, or anything else. But as I got older, I realized that time is passing me by, weeks and months, heck, even years, and I'm not really in the moment. I'm indifferent, is what I'm trying to say. So once I started realizing that, I knew I had to buckle down and take control of my life, because it's passing me by. We need to structure our day. Now, you can have a whiteboard like I do over there. You can have a journal, you can have a planner, but your best bet is to always structure your day. And one of the easiest things that'll help you structure your day is to make sure that you wake up at a certain time and sleep at a certain time. Now, that's going to be different based on everybody's schedules, whether they work nights or early mornings, but make sure that you get that taken care of. It's like an anchor. So figure out when you go to sleep, figure out when you wake up, and structure your day around that. And make sure to give yourself enough time to sleep and rest. So as long as you structure that time and you break everything up, be it in 1 hour increments or 2 hour increments, you'll be able to make the most of your day. You'll be even more productive. And even at the end of the day, you'll be able to sleep a lot earlier. Because one thing I've found in my own experience is on days where I don't get much done, it takes me a lot longer to fall asleep. Whereas in other days where I get a whole lot done and it was productive, I'm able to go to sleep a whole lot earlier. So make note of that. The second thing that I want to really focus on is really understanding how our actions impact us in the future. I'm not talking about the past. I'm not talking about looking back at the weeks, months, or years that each of us has wasted, myself included. I'm talking about how are you going to change it moving forward? You got to ask yourself that question. How is it that you're going to structure your time so that you can improve and move forward with your life? Because one way to think of it is it's like the compound effect. What we do today feeds into tomorrow, and the next week after that, and the month after that, and the several years after that, depending on what it is that we're working on. So what we do today influences tomorrow. And for a lot of people, there's a disconnect. They think that today is today and tomorrow is tomorrow. That's not the case. It feeds into it. One way or another, it's going to influence the next day and so on. So make sure that you're as consistent as possible. I'm not saying that you're going to wake up, be a superhero, and be all 365 days a year that you're going to be as productive as you can be, and you're going to achieve as many goals, and your life is going to get a whole lot better. I'm not saying that. Life getting better is going to be a process, but don't count on it being a daily thing especially if you're just getting started. It's a challenge that it's an obstacle that you need to overcome, but with patience and consistency, you'll be able to do it. Now, the mathematical portion of it comes in right now. Let's say that the number 1, right? 1 is the benchmark that we'll set for consistency. So 1 to the power of 10 is 1, right? Because you just multiply it by itself 10 times. 1 to the power of 100 is 1, right? So nothing changes. 1 to the power of 365, which represents the 365 days in a year, is just going to be 1. So if you spend a majority of your time just being consistent, then a year from now, 2 years from now, you're going to look back at your life and it's going to be the same thing. Nothing has changed. Nothing has improved. Now, by keeping that benchmark in mind, let's go ahead and take into account, what if we fall short on a daily basis over the course of a year? And let's be really generous with how we set up our values here. So let's just say that we perform at 99%. So we're down 1% on a daily basis. Basically, we don't finish what we need to finish. We don't meet our own expectations, even if we do complete things. Maybe the standard or the quality of whatever it is that we completed isn't up to par with what we wanted. So let's just say we're at 99%. Now, and you can do this in your own calculators at home. Put in 0.99 to the power of 365 and see what you get. It's mind-boggling. So you would think that if on a daily basis you kept a consistent 99%, meaning falling short on a daily basis, that by the end of the year you'd somehow end up with either 0.99 or something really close to it, right? But if you plug it into your calculator and you see that 0.99 to the power of 365, that's going to give you about 3%, or 0.03 if you round up. How bizarre is that? That is such a small value. And after a year of constantly coming up short, you'll realize that. You'll realize that you've fallen up short so many times that when you look at yourself a year beforehand, your situation in whatever capacity was a whole lot better than what it is now. But the unfortunate truth is that there are people who go years, not just one, who go 2, 3, 5 years doing this exact same thing, falling up short every single day. And it's either a lack of structure, a lack of effort, whatever it might be. And after years and years and years, their life is a whole lot worse. And they think they're looking for that magic trick, or the one-size-fits-all solution to just solve their problems overnight and get back on track. When in reality, once you've fallen that low, it's going to be a journey in of itself to get back up to the benchmark, which is just 1, to where like the initial starting point. And unfortunately, a lot of people give up and they fall into complaining. And it feeds into the other video, the previous video that I talked about, which is about guarding your thoughts. So it's not a road that we want to take in our own life. Now here's the upside to this. Go ahead and in your calculators put in 1.01. Now that's 1% better. So over our benchmark, which was set at 1, we're just going to go at 1% better. And raise that up to the power of 365 and let me know what you get. I bet you didn't expect the number though, right? You didn't expect it to be anywhere from 37 to 38, depending on if you rounded the value or not. But isn't it crazy how just a minute improvement, a 1% improvement on a daily basis over 365 days can make a ginormous difference? That's almost 37 times better. So if you reflect on your own life, and if you just take the initiative to not maintain the benchmark, but to just be a bit better every single day, after a year, your life would be 37 times better. And when you look back at your life, You're going to be baffled. You're going to be shocked and be like, just over these small steps that I took on a daily basis, my life is a whole lot different now. So that's what you want. It's the small improvements that you make on a daily basis that over time you'll see the results of. Now, as human beings, we see that information, you see that number, and you're like, well, I want to do that. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Set up a goal and work towards it, and don't be discouraged if you come up short. If you come up short one day, that's fine. Don't let it happen the next day, and move forward. Set yourself up so that a majority of the year is consistently above the benchmark. Once that happens, you'll see how your life changes for the better. And I've seen it myself. I've done this for over the last few years, on and off, depending on the circumstances in my own life. And it was sparked by me reflecting on my own life. And I realized for about a 4 or 5 year period, it was the exact same. So I didn't move forward, didn't really move backward. I was near the benchmark overall. And I'm like, after 4 or 5 years, that's my life. Like, why is it consistent? And when I compared myself to those around me, a lot of people have gotten a whole lot better, and there's other people who have gotten a whole lot worse. So I knew I needed to make a change. And that change was in one of my earlier videos where I started pursuing photography. That's what made the change for me. And it helped me become a better person as a result of it. So you don't want to stay the same. You don't ever want to reflect on your life several years down the road and see that either your life is the exact same or worse. Because it can be very discouraging to move forward and see the brighter side of life. And life is made of ups and downs. Regardless of what you do, regardless of how consistent you are, there are some things that are going to come out of left field, and it's going to catch us off guard. Our job is to overcome those obstacles, even if it's by surprise. You know, like there's a very popular quote that goes, it's not about the situations or the circumstances in our own lives, it's how we react to them. It's how we overcome them that ultimately shapes us into who we are. With that being said, I hope that helped shed a different light on how we should view life, and in a sense, it made it more tangible. And have a good day. Now keep in mind, what can you do today that'll make the world a better place tomorrow?